We have got quite the situation on this Bitcoin chart right now, and I'm going to be breaking it all down for you in this YouTube video because unfortunately we have lost that critical $57,000 price level. We've had a few different levels of invalidation on this chart, but we have just kept on losing them at every single turn, and I think that it could be giving them some strong indications of heading significantly lower, maybe even $10,000 lower from here. However, there are still bullish signs that a lot of people are interested in, and so what we're going to be doing in this YouTube video is you smash up those likes and double check that you're subscribed. Thank you very much for the support. What we're going to be doing here in this YouTube video is discussing those questions and kind of getting an idea of where we think Bitcoin could be going. But as usual, unfortunately, you come to this channel for realism, you come to this channel for grounded, truthful analysis. I actually still believe that this market is going to be dependent on indices like the S&P 500 and just generally the kind of traditional finance climate, and it is not good. We've seen the S&P 500 kind of trade sideways up here, before now coming back down into our really, really nice support zone, and I think that's why we've seen all the weakness on Bitcoin. I literally don't think it's anything more complex or challenging than that. I think it's literally just that Bitcoin is a relatively small asset compared to other traditional finance indices or stocks or whatever, and because of that Bitcoin has to follow where the money is going, okay? And if the money is not interested in being in risky places, then it's sure as hell not going to be in Bitcoin. We've seen this happen a million times. A lot of people hate me for it. I literally couldn't bring myself to give a fuck because it's absolutely unequivocally the truth. And we've seen this be the case since basically kind of like, 2020, at least 2021, at least, and we're continuing to see it here. S&P down, Bitcoin suffers. But the S&P 500 is now at support. And I think that could actually be really, really good news for Bitcoin here. So that's quite interesting. Obviously, we had this big gap right here, which we've pretty much just about filled now. We have another gap down here. So I don't know how much, those of you watching love your gaps. I personally don't care, but I think a lot of people are quite extreme about their gaps, so they're worth talking about. And the dollar has also seen its bounce, right? I was talking to you guys about expecting a bounce on the dollar. We have finally gotten that bounce. Now, whether the bounce is over or not, I don't know. But from its low to its high, it did manage to move up by about 1.4% inside of a week or two, which is actually, a fair bit for the dollar. I mean, obviously, it's had an impact on the market because we've seen Bitcoin dropping. But yeah, of course, I mean, throughout the course of, even just today and the last couple of days, we have been seeing the dollar dropping, yet still no chance for Bitcoin to breathe here. We're still dropping down. So again, just a lot more weakness, right? I mean, this is a really bad sign in my opinion, where, Bitcoin has such a clear overall, it has such a clear inverse correlation with the dollar, where it always tends to do the opposite of the dollar. If the dollar moves up, Bitcoin moves down. If the dollar moves down, Bitcoin moves up, right? That's what we've seen for a very, very long time. Those of you that are subscribed watching this very time sensitive content, you're going to know all about that. And here, we're starting to deviate away from that, and Bitcoin is not finding strength where the dollar is finding weakness. And, that happens sometimes, but it's very much an exception to the rule, not, what we would expect. And I think, again, that's just telling us a little bit more about this story of weakness for Bitcoin, right? If we bring this over to the Bitcoin chart, we'll go back to TradFi in a second, but if we bring this over to Bitcoin just for now, what I think is overwhelmingly clear at this point in this market, ladies and gents, is that we basically have no more support, right? I mean, you can keep on kind of making weird justifications for how Bitcoin could find support down here, and I can understand some of them at least, but just by looking at these kind of charts, there's really nothing left. We're kind of just hanging on by a thread. Does that mean that we can't pump? Absolutely not, right? I mean, these markets are very surprising, and they can pull weird things off, and especially at times like this, it's so likely. However, I think that we've also got the S&P 500 going in our favor. So again, we start talking about the idea of markets pumping. Well, we got S&P 500 down at support on a Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday, the final day of this trading week, and that could be setting Bitcoin up for some very interesting, unsettling weekend price action. So I think that's also going to be important. We'll be talking about that in the very next video as well. Those of you that are staying tuned to the, by the way, guys, there's so many spam comments. I try to clear them up, but if I don't get them, please forgive me. Those of you that are tuning in here on YouTube, definitely make sure to check me out on Twitter, on X, linked at the very top of every single YouTube video. And while you're down there, ladies and gents, Bybit is offering you $30,000 for free to trade with, which is absolutely sick. That just depends on your trading amount when you sign up using my link. They also have a decentralized exchange alternative, which is super, super cool. And Blowfin is also offering you thousands of dollars in bonuses. You get a lot of free shit just for trading. It's the same trades that you were already doing. You're gonna get even more money for that, even more cool shit for that, just like a free Apple Watch or a Tesla or whatever, just sent straight to your house. So check it all out. Super, super cool offers if you're looking for a new home to trade. And if you're not, but you're not diversified, then it's still a reason to look, because you need to be spreading your risk out, just in case one exchange kind of has a problem, right? It's happened before, it will happen again, and it could be any of these exchanges. It could be the exchanges that I'm talking about. It could be exchanges that I've never mentioned. We're in the crypto game. It's not safe, so please be careful. But absolutely a very interesting chart for Bitcoin here, given that we've kind of fallen below some of these key levels in this market here now. And I think that, in terms of support, the next logical level is just going to be down here at about 52. But again, I don't have that much faith in this level, so I'm kind of looking at about $48,000, which is about $8,000 lower than where we are right now. We've seen Bitcoin's dominance make really nice strides upwards. If we look at this on the daily time frame, I mean, this is such a bullish chart right now on the Bitcoin dominance chart. I've had so many discussions with so many different people about this Bitcoin dominance chart. It seems like pretty much everybody I speak to has some reason to disagree with me on this Bitcoin dominance chart. Look, I'm not trying to be like overly cocky here. I don't mind being a little bit cocky, but when somebody is so fucking consistently right about the same thing over and over, and when you know that person has over 7 years of history in this market now, I don't know why when I'm coming on saying that we're clearly in a fucking uptrend and we're clearly not even at resistance yet and we're clearly still poised to be moving up, I don't know why so many people feel like they have the need to disagree with me. It must purely be because they're over invested in their shitcoins, and that's exactly why they're going to continue to be wrong, and why you and I are going to continue to be correct about this, because I still believe that we've got a lot more upside to go for Bitcoin's dominance. If it even goes up by another 2.5% up to 60%, that is going to wipe the floor clean with altcoins. It is going to be absolutely disgusting how low your altcoins are potentially going to be dropping if Bitcoin's dominance rises up that high. Could it go higher than that? Absolutely. Do I think it's going to go higher than that? I honestly don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't even know if we're going to hit 60, right? Nothing is guaranteed, but I've been saying this since we were down at the very, very bottom, and I've been calling for 60 for years, plural now, for multiple years. And we're still very much on track for that now. So I think that's very much making sense there. Again, Ethereum is down in the buy range that I was labeled absolutely batshit crazy for talking about. I mean, nobody could take me seriously with these kind of price targets that I was talking about down here, especially when Ethereum was up here and when it hadn't kind of been down at those levels for a few years. But lo and behold, not only are we down there, we're doing absolutely bloody horribly. If you take a look at this chart and you look for, classic signs that you're about to collapse below a support level, I don't know how you can make it clearer than this chart setup right here, where you punch in a low, you recover up a little bit, and then you immediately come back down to this low. But the next time, you're not punching in a low. The next time, you're just hovering sideways, waiting for you to just get absolutely smacked down, to your next support level. This is the same thing that we've seen happen a million times on this chart. I mean, take a look at this right here. We got a nice big bottom out right here, a big pump coming off this 0.48 BTC per token level against Bitcoin here. So for Ethereum against Bitcoin. And the very next time that we come down here, we muster a much weaker bounce, and then we're immediately back down, and then another weak bounce, and then we're immediately setting a new low. We've seen this a million times. I mean, it's so easy to give you more examples of this. Look at this. We're punching in, very clear lows here. I mean, the market within just a matter of days, about 2 weeks, is up by 9% over here. Over here, within about 3-4 days, is up by 14%. We're talking about big big bounces. This is against Bitcoin as well, bear in mind, so it's gaining against the dollar a lot of the time as well. But then the next time we return down to the same level, we can't even fucking bounce again, right? So this is clearly the kind of body language that leads to further downside price action. And this is Ethereum against Bitcoin. I mean, God forbid you look at any other chart like an altcoin, and here's Polkadot, which obviously was a loved child in this market over the last few years, and it's at all-time lows. I mean, the dip just keeps on dipping. I genuinely sort of feel bad for people that are still in these coins. I mean, I can't feel too bad because I've been warning about this for years. It's kind of frustrating because when you're actually here's the thing, ladies and gents. Let me level with you for a second and tell you a little bit about, where's my face cam going? You can't even see me anymore. I don't know why that's happening. But let me tell you a little bit about what happens in this market when you're so consistently right. The problem that you encounter when you're right all the time is that you can't actually, prove yourself as being correct until a lot later on, because nobody is around to kind of see you being correct for a very, very long time. Now, unfortunately, my face cam is completely gone, so I can't show you me talking to you directly to your face, but you could just imagine that I'm making this point. The reality of being a trader, and you're going to experience this in your own life if you start to make profits or if you've already been making profits, is that absolutely everybody and their fucking grandmother has an opinion, and most of the time, if you're on the winning side of things, they will be disagreeing with you. Yet, if you can kind of stay convicted, if you know that you've followed a good system to do your analysis, to take your trades and stuff like that, then actually they're going to be the ones holding shit-munching bags like this at all-time lows, praying for a fucking pump without realizing that in every new market cycle, all of the old coins are in a very bad position to pump because they already have so many people buying so many people that are still holding the coin, and that has a very, very big effect on how much supply there is in the market. When the market starts pumping again, you can really start to expect that a lot of people are going to start selling their bags. Solana, by comparison, is in a kind of unique position because it already had that washout, right? I mean, it kind of went from all-time highs back, on a logarithmic scale, on a linear scale, basically back down to all-time lows. And this was a chance for the market to basically wash out all of the all of the weak supply, and now that's gone, and I think that's why we've seen a really nice rally. On a logarithmic scale, we were still very, very far away from all-time lows, but on a linear scale, you can't really tell the difference. So I think that really tells you a lot there. And bringing it back to Bitcoin on the flip side, to turn this thing bullish again, like I said, all it takes is a little pump here and we can turn things around pretty quickly. We've definitely seen it happen before. We're obviously going to see it happen again at some point. The levels for now would be, I'd say, kind of 57. Getting above that would be nice. Really, we want to get above this green box. We did try it, I think, like as early as yesterday, but yeah, we couldn't get above it. So if we're able to get above this green box, then, next target is going to be this red box as resistance at about $61,000, and anything above that, and I think we're kind of back in bull market territory. Right now, I think we're still in bear market territory, but the market is so illiquid and the market is completely at the mercy of the S&P 500. So it honestly kind of doesn't even, make sense to analyze Bitcoin at this stage, in my opinion. And that's why the very beginning of this video is just a bit of traditional finance analysis, because you can't really talk about Bitcoin anymore. It is a discussion that is above our pay grade at this point. And that is completely fine. That's not something to get upset about. The only reason to be upset about it is if you don't know that this is how the market works. But as soon as you know these things, then you can actually use them to your advantage, and they don't have to be scary or concerning at all anymore. Ladies and gents, I've been talking to you a little bit about Apex recently, and I want to highlight this to you with a little bit more detail. This is a fully decentralized exchange. It is well worth your attention because it's going to be the future of crypto. It's the way crypto was designed to be. I don't talk much about my deep love for the technology and philosophy of crypto, primarily because absolutely nobody else really understands it these days. However, I'm still a massive proponent of the tech and philosophy of crypto. I think it's the best system I've ever seen in my life in terms of finance, and Apex embodies that completely. They have over $68 billion in trading volume, and over the last 24 hours, unfortunately not super high at 66 million, but still enough liquidity for most people to trade on this as a decentralized exchange. In fact, these volumes were like 10 to 15 times higher just like a month ago or so. So I think this is much more just because the market is kind of shit right now. And as soon as the market kind of picks up, you're going to see a lot more liquidity here. But still, plenty of liquidity to trade for most people. And you are just going to have to connect your wallet to the DEX in order to get started. Like I said, pretty much built by Bybit, you know, and so you're getting, you know, kind of a lot of what you would trust. You could even directly connect your Bybit Web3 wallet to Apex right here, which is super, super cool. I don't know if I can show that to you right now. It seems to be glitching a little bit just while I'm recording here, but absolutely well worth checking out. And again, you'll find it linked in the description right below the Bybit link here. And with all exchanges that I've got linked here, you're going to get really, really nice bonuses when you do sign up using my links below and starting to trade. Anybody that's a VIP on Bybit, which, you know, you can qualify for by just having a certain amount of deposited capital or a certain trading volume in the last 30 days. If you're a VIP, you can get a Bybit debit card for free, which is super, super cool. You can spend it anywhere in the world. I've been spending it all over the world, and it is just kind of crazy to be able to spend my internet, you know, digital ones and zeros that are crypto, no less, to be able to spend that in the real world. So that's super, super cool. Anybody anywhere in the world that's VIP can do that on Bybit. So again, well worth checking out. And if you want to get more information on that, or you don't really get it, you can also just reach out to me with this direct link in the description down below. I really hope you have enjoyed this video, ladies and gents. It is a sobering one. There's a lot more to talk about, and I'll be covering all of that stuff with you in upcoming videos. Actually, I've forgotten. I do have a couple other charts I want to show you. This one is about the halving cycles, and it's the same thing I was talking to you guys about recently, but you know, I think it's worth bringing it to your attention again. For 2016, we had the halving back here, and we didn't really start setting all-time highs until about 40 weeks later. 2020, same deal, halving happened here. 30 weeks later, we started setting all-time highs, and in this case here, potentially 35 weeks to set brand new all-time highs right at the very, very end of 2024. And also with the understanding that after every single halving, nothing really happened for quite a few months. And so, you know, and I was warning you all about this. You know, everybody and their fucking grandmother was just hyped up over this halving, and I kept on telling everybody in the space that every single time we've had a halving before, Bitcoin did basically nothing after the halving. It was always a much more lagging effect on the market, and I strongly hypothesized that it would have been the same thing this year. And lo and behold, once again, 4Fly's pulling in absolutely fully 100% correctly over there with that prediction, because we've done the same damn thing right now. The only thing that this chart says, which disagrees with me, is that we're not going to be dumping down. I told you that anything below 57 is bearish to me, but according to these kind of charts, we don't have a whole lot more room to drop down. So I don't really know, and quite frankly, I honestly don't even think it matters, because whether Bitcoin drops down to 56K or 44K, nobody's going to care about it if Bitcoin starts trading at 200K, which I think is a very reasonable, realistic target for this bull cycle, right? The longer it takes to restart it, the higher I believe we're going to go. I've been saying this since our 7-month consolidation period that happened back here in 2023. And look at the result that came afterwards, right? I mean, this is a very, very typical turn of events here, where you see astronomical gains immediately after waiting for astronomical periods of time. So we're doing the same thing right now. We've got the biggest bull flag I've ever seen in my life. We have some very smart people pointing out that these are not bull flags, but then hopefully we have even smarter people pointing out that it really doesn't matter whether you call us a bull flag or a descending channel. It's the same damn thing. It is still a bullish continuation pattern, and the actual technicalities, the very precise words, we're not very worried about. What we're more worried about is putting some money in our damn pockets. So there you go, ladies and gents. I hope you appreciate all this very realistic stuff here. Apologies for my face cam, not sure what happened there, but if you have enjoyed this one, do me a favor, smash up those likes, double check that you are subscribed, and also take advantage of all the phenomenal bonuses available to you when you do start trading using the links down below. And I will see you all in the next one. Cheers.